I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're diving deep into West Texas Shadow Walkers, the Cryptid Invasion. It is a heart-pounding sci-fi horror from a terrific author. His name is Pat Beason. When grotesque, flesh-eating creatures descend upon the oil fields of West Texas, one man and his loyal German shepherd must lead a battle for survival. This isn't your average monster story. It's a pulse-pounding blend of supernatural mystery, military action, and pure Texas grit. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him on TV today. We ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me here today.
My pleasure.
Great to have you on the show. This is such an amazing book, so imaginative. Talk to us a little bit about the inspiration behind it.
Well, I spent quite a bit of time out in West Texas, and there's a kind of a large Navajo contingent out there, and I got to meet some of the people. And of course, they were a little secretive about some of their beliefs, which I don't blame them. So that inspired me to go looking through the web to search Navajo beliefs, but there are some very interesting fellows out there in West Texas that they practice their tribal customs, and that's what kind of inspired me. Plus, the fellow that I was having on site do my consulting while I wasn't there, his spouse was a Navajo girl. So I got to talk to her a little bit and got inspired a little bit about some of their beliefs and everything. And I thought, well, it'd be a fun story to write about. It took me a little while to put it together. Plus the graphics that I had in there took us a little bit of maybe a year and 2 months to put together. And I sent the guy that was my illustrationist my manuscript, and he said a very interesting thing to me. He said, "This reads like a sci-fi horror supernatural action thriller." And I said, "Wouldn't it be great to have a movie about this?" And he said, "It certainly would." I said, "But you'd probably have to come up with more than $6 million or so to have a movie." He automatically thought I had the $6 million pocket. So he was wrong on that.
Yep. Yep. Well, it would be, he was right on one thing. It would be a great movie. I mean, you've got the captain, you've got Jerry Lee, his faithful German shepherd. You've got monsters. You've got, people who are caught under spells, basically. I think it's really great. I think it tapped into the lore of this area of West Texas and really came up with an imaginative story that'd be exciting to watch on film. It's certainly exciting to read about, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jerry was he was my lover. He was a good boy,
Yeah.
and he got fairly old.
Yeah. So Jerry Lee is based on your own dog?
Oh yeah, Jerry Lee was my dog. He was my puppy. He
Awesome.
was probably 13 or 14 years old when he passed.
Oh, that's a long life for a German Shepherd.
It is, especially one as large as what Jerry was.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, Jerry was probably, I don't know, maybe 31 inches or so to the shoulder and maybe 110 pounds.
Wow.
And several people that would come to our house from time to time were a little hesitant about greeting him, but he welcomed everybody that we let in the door. If you came through the fence and were uninvited, you
Maybe
probably
a
had a
different
bad day.
story. Yeah, awesome, awesome. You have a background in the military. Tell us about that and how that influenced the story.
Well, the background in the military came from oh good grief, I joined the Air Force, in the maybe 70 or so, and I loved planes. So flying was a passion for me, and of course having a little bit of college, it progressed through the ranks, from second lieutenant up to captain. And it gave me quite a bit of knowledge on how to do a little bit of combat, and of course I always had a colonel that he just took a shining to me,
Mm.
and Colonel Jacobson, and that's why whenever we were in public or around other people, Jacobson. If we were in private, it was Jake, and I threw him in there. It's just kind of a it was kind of imaginary, and I drew from I don't know if you've ever seen the movie with I guess it's Michael Grossman or whatever, with the Tremors, and
Mhm.
now he had his half track that was armed to the teeth. So I thought, well, I'll throw that in there because I know Jake would do that.
Yeah, amazing. Well,
Yeah.
really a great story. It feels very real. Have you always lived in West Texas? Is that your home always?
Well, I was born in Houston and moved to northern Oklahoma. My dad was with Sinclair, and he got transferred back to Houston years later. And my of geology and archaeology and all that, it already kind of shown through in my life, and so my background is structural engineering, and so when I was in school, I studied pretty hard in geology, and that gave me quite a bit of knowledge about drilling and completion of certain wells, and so that's kind of where my background lied. And but no, West Texas was just something that I found later on that I thought, golly, boys, there was a well that was drilled by Chevron that hit a real large discovery, and they didn't complete because when they drilled it and found it, they didn't have any talent on completing in the shale. So they let that lease go. I got it and started drilling on it and started hitting some pretty large wells.
Wow. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Are you thinking about a sequel for this book?
I am.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, I've got part of it started, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be kind of neat to throw in some newer technology, kind of like robots that
Hmm.
are combat trained. So I'm throwing that in the sequel, and haven't quite got it finished yet. It's got a long ways to go, but I'll I've got some robots in the sequel whenever they're going into the caves and things on the one lease that we're at.
Very cool.
They had the ability to 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 target actual predators and no humanoids.
Well, I think that is the future. I do think robots will be fighting a lot of our wars. I mean, if you look at the robots that are out there already that Elon Musk has produced, they're pretty
Yeah,
amazing. And this is just
yeah.
the first generation. These are the betas. They really haven't come up with a workable version yet, but it's going to be quite amazing.
I think will be. I think it'll be great. And part of what I wrote about on the robots is it's got I think probably put in there a 12-inch computer screen as a head,
Yeah.
and you can control it from an outside source like the Jake's half track,
Hmm.
and we can see what the robot is seeing, and so they're quick draw artists.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
gave them sidearms,
Yeah, they'd
actually
be
dispatched.
undefeatable. That's for sure. They'd be
Yeah,
smarter than us,
undefeated.
stronger than us, quicker than us, right?
You're right.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Talk to us about the cryptid invasion. Talk to us about the creatures that come about and what happens there in West Texas.
Well, West Texas is an interesting place. You see some interesting things, especially at night when you're on the rig floor, and some of it you think, did I really see that? But cryptid, I just thought, well, I'll throw that in because cryptozoology is one of the things that it kind of mixes with this book, and the cryptids are just kind of a non humanoid transformation of I would think maybe one of the Navajo people would transform into.
Yeah. Very
I hope I
cool. It's
don't
very
insult any.
effective, very scary.
Oh, very scary. I hope I didn't insult any Navajo people with that. But
I don't think so.
they're
I think
great.
you
They're
took a
great
little
people.
poetic license. I think that's all part of it. That's all part of it. So do you think
Right.
this will wind up being part of a series? You might not even stop at a sequel. You might just keep on going, talking about, the captain and his life and Jerry
Yep.
Lee and all that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
Very, very cool. The cover of the book is wonderful. Talk to us a little bit about that illustration.
Well, that's the kind of something that I came up with my illustrationist. He said, "Well, how do you want it to look?" And I said, "Well, make it look like an alien creature with getting ready to attack somebody." And he sent me a couple of drafts, and I rejected probably four or five of them. And then we came up with this one. And he said, "What do you think about that?" I said, "That's great." I said, "Let's have kind of a blue background and show the creature in the in the book."
Yeah.
And you know, I always said that they got glowing yellow eyes,
Yeah.
which all the time you always see some of these stories that got red. But now I thought I'll be different. I'll be glowing yellow because you can see those through the bushes and everything out there in West Texas.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you really did a great job in capturing the essence of the story with that cover. And it kind of has a throwback feel about it as well, which is kind of cool. A little bit of the sci-fi from the 1950s with the script, on the book. I think
Right.
yeah, I think it's really great. I think we could have, who would you cast as the captain if you weren't able to do the role yourself? Who
That would
would you
be
find to do it?
you know, uh, Matthew McConaughey.
That's funny you say that because I was going to say Steve McQueen. And those
Steve
guys are
McQueen
kind of
would be good.
similar.
Matthew's from that area,
Yep. Yeah.
and interesting story. I used to buy all my tubular goods from his brother,
Hmm.
a steel yard out in West Texas. But
Yeah.
Matthew or Steve McQueen would be great.
Steve McQueen, we'd have to resurrect him. We'd have to make him his AI version of Steve McQueen to play the role.
Yeah,
That's what we'd have
yeah,
to do. But yeah, McConaughey's still kicking, so I think let's tap him for the role. I think that'd be great. Do you know who would play Britt? Who would play his love interest?
yeah. I don't know. I don't know who would play Britt, but Britt was a gorgeous Navajo beauty with long flowing hair, and sometimes she wore it in a bun. And
Yeah.
but there's got to be some actresses out there that would fit that bill really well.
Yep, absolutely. Put out a casting call for that one, and Hollywood would come beating at your door to play that role. A lot of people would be very, very excited about that, of course. The book also deals with themes of faith, fear, and courage. Tell us about those
Right,
elements.
right. Well, the fate, it's just you're out there in West Texas, and fate has a funny way of rearing its head sometimes, and I thought about that quite a bit, uh, and just some of the some of the things we experienced when we're out there in West Texas that would
Yeah.
bring about fate to it. But the courage, obviously, Jerry Lee was very courageous, dog.
Yep.
And of course, I'd seen some things in some of my travels of military escapades that I thought, why did I do something like that? But it's it comes from being young, dumb, and fearless and invincible and bulletproof.
Well, you did a great job on this book. Lots of great themes, lots of great action, lots of great heroes, a terrific story. We can't wait for the sequel and other books in this series to come about. The name of the book we've been focusing on today is called West Texas Shadow Walkers, The Cryptid Invasion. It is a gripping tale of survival, monsters, and courage set in the Lone Star State. It's a must read for fans of supernatural thrillers and military action. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Great having you on the show. I appreciate your time, your insight, your wisdom, and the great work you've done on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.